Truth is, I am Iron Man.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
What is going on? What are you doing?
To infinity and beyond!
This is the way.
The flux capacitor.
Is Star Wars the one with the little wizard boy?
Chewie, we're home.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Ah, chills. Literal chills.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to United We Fan, the introduction episode. I'll be your host, Mark, and my co-host is the amazing Bryan. What's up, Bryan?
Hey, everyone.
All right, everybody. So what the show is going to be about is two guys, as you heard, Mark and Bryan. We are big fans. We're big nerds of many different things, and each episode we're going to fan out about a different topic, and we love for you all to join us. This is our first podcast that we've hosted, so there may be some growing, learning situations for us, but we hope you all stick with us and keep having fun. We're going to discuss all different kinds of topics, depending on the episode, from movies to shows to books to music, fandom topics. So each episode will be something fun and exciting. But why should you listen to us? Well, Bryan and I are going to go over different things, different topics, and hopefully you all can be like, all right, yeah, we like these guys' choices. We can dig it. We'll tune in for sure. So we're going to start with movies and TV shows. Bryan, what are some movies and TV shows that you love?
Movies and TV shows, for me, are the biggest reason I wanted to do a podcast like this. It's hard for me to get myself narrowed down on one particular focus, but when it comes to movies and TV shows, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I've got my opinions on Star Wars, but I'm not one of those ones that's going to get on you for your opinions. Everybody's entitled to their own, and what makes it great is Star Wars. Very close second for me is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I cannot wait for the Disney Plus stuff that's coming on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm
so
bummed
excited.
I'm bummed Black Widow got delayed because I'm excited for Eternals more than anything. But there's a lot of good stuff coming down that for Marvel. Jumping into TV, anything Mike Schur puts out, I'm in on it.
Nice.
The Office, Parks and Recreation, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I will say Space Force coming out at the end of the month. I know Mike Schur is not involved in that, but I am going to be an avid watcher of that one.
Those are some good choices. Yeah, I mean, movie-wise, I love Steven Spielberg. I have seen every one of his movies, so that's a big thing for me. My top three directors are Spielberg, Mel Brooks, Alfred Hitchcock. I could talk about any of those movies. If anyone said, hey, let's watch those movies, I'm there. I have many others that I love, but those are like the big three for me. Films, I'm also an MCU guy. I'm pretty wide open when it comes to my movies. Literally, my friends will throw out a movie to me, and I'll be like, all right, do you like it? And they're like, oh my God, I love it. And I'll usually check it out. As far as TV shows, I hope nobody judges me too hard. I do love the show Friends. It is my favorite TV show. Other shows that I love.
I finished a rewatch of Friends and fairly recently, and it still holds up for me too. So don't worry about too much about that.
Yay! Good. All right. In my top 5 shows also is my favorite superhero show, Smallville. I grew up with that show, so it had an emotional connection with me. So I love Smallville quite a bit. It is dated a little bit if you watch some of those earlier episodes, but I still love it. Whatever, I don't care. The other show that I love is a BBC one called Spaced. So if you love the movies Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, then you should definitely check out that show. It's from the same team. You got Simon Pegg in it. So can't recommend that show enough, especially if you're a nerd. God, there's so many references in there. And if you have the Blu-ray or DVD, they list all the references. And it's from Edgar Wright, director. He did, Hot Fuzz, Baby Driver. So brilliant guy. But yeah, TV shows.
At the beginning of our podcast, Mark, I think we should set Simon Pegg as our dream get. he seems to be our kind of up our alley.
He was in Star Trek. He did Spielberg movies.
He was in episode
Space.
7, Star Wars.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz is one of my all-time favorite movies. So I will have no problem with. Hopefully, one day Simon Pegg decides to give us a chance, and
That's
he'll
the dream.
unite with us. Well, we'll move on to books and music. Books, I'm a very big reader. I even have one of those reading apps where you can set a reading challenge for yourself. My top 3 authors are J.K. Rowling, of course, from the Harry Potter world. I love all those books, even The Fantastic Beasts, Cursed Child. I haven't gotten a chance, I will admit, to read her adult-aimed books, but I'm getting to them. Rick Riordan from the Percy Jackson series and the spin-offs. I love them. Love the Percy Jackson series. Disney Plus just announced they're going to do a TV series, so I'm excited for that. And then Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton with Jurassic Park and Timeline. I remember reading those books and just being swept away in them. And yeah, music. Oh, and Nick Hornby. He did High Fidelity and About a Boy. I love that guy's writing. But music. I'm a big music guy. I'll listen to pretty much anything. Scream metal. I'm not a big guy in scream metal. Don't get me wrong. Like if you put on 9 Inch Nails, I'm there. Not too big on music that doesn't really make sense with the lyrics. I'm like, what's happening there? But I love all kinds of music. You can put on 90s rock and I'll definitely be there. But my music tastes, I will also happily talk about movie scores. John Williams, Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman. Hopefully we'll get to do an episode on movie music because I would love that. How about you, Brian? Any favorite books, music?
Books, to be honest, I've never been a real avid reader. Anything Tom Clancy can definitely get my attention. I'm much more of an audiobook person, and that my Audible library is full of all kinds of the Star Wars Aftermath books. I just actually finished Bob Iger's memoirs that he recently released. So things like that. But if it's not Dr. Seuss, I don't have a lot of time for it in my life. I'm a father of a 3, and then pregnancy announcement, a 4th one coming later this year. So
congrats.
I've got a lot of Dr. Seuss in my life. When it comes to music, to be honest, my favorite type of music, hands down, is country music. I love country music. You can't get me into 9 Inch Nails. It just doesn't really work. But I'll find myself down a Dr. Dre, Eminem, 2001 kind of rabbit hole every so often. But for the most part, I fell into Limp Bizkit the other day too, and that was a long rabbit hole. But for the most part, country music for me.
Cool stuff. Well, you mentioned Star Wars earlier. What are some of is Star Wars your biggest fandom that you're into, or what are some other ones?
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars is definitely my biggest one. I've had a chance to go to the last 2 celebrations. I also have tickets for Star Wars Celebration 2020, which we don't assume will happen in 2020 anymore, but we'll see on that. And like I said, I'm a huge Marvel fan as well. But there's so much new content coming from those 2 companies that really dominates a large part of my time. I do have a master's in sports management. I'm a giant sports fan too. So between those things and sports, I don't have a lot of time and my kids and my wife, who I love dearly, I don't have a lot of time for much else.
I feel ya. Fandoms, like I said, anything related to Spielberg, Harry Potter, I'm there. The MCU, I just love me some Captain America. Don't get me wrong, DC fans out there, I'm a fan of the Aquaman, Nightwing, Superboy. I can roll with the DC fan base as well. Sports, Brian and I will definitely be doing a sports episode sometime here and there, but we will make it as nerdy as possible. So please don't run away by hearing that. But yeah,
Mark, one thing I wanted to mention that I didn't mention before, but I feel this is a safe space. I'm a giant Funko collector. I love Funkos. last I counted, my Star Wars Funkos collection, if you count the movie moments, is 2. I've got close to 200 Star Wars ones, my Marvel ones, or I have the entire Spider-Verse collection. I have the whole Sandlot collection, the entire Emperor's New Groove collection. I'm just a giant Funko fan.
Well, when we get our Instagram page off and running, we'll have to take pictures of our Funko collection so that people can nerd out with us. All right, Brian, is there anything else you want to just let everyone know how big of a nerd you are? I mean, you dropped that nugget about your Star Wars Funko collection, so I think that's pretty good right there. But anything else you want to throw in there before we sign it off?
The best thing a nerd can do is when you find the right girl or guy, have yourself some kids and you can do what you want, because my youngest daughter, her name is Rey after the Star Wars character, and she loves everything. And then the one coming later in this year, boy or girl, is going to be named Parker after Peter Parker. So there's good ways to nerd out even when you're moving on with your life. Agreed.
Oh, man, that was beautiful. Crap. I hate that I have to follow that. Let's see. Me, nerdisms, I think I just made up a word. Being a nerd has helped a lot of people open up. It's an icebreaker for me. I love finding out people's fandoms and talking with them about that. Me personally, I love that I've gotten to a point in my life where I can let my freak flag fly. I mean, I have over like 10 Captain America hoodies, and I live in Florida where what do you really need a hoodie for? But I love it. I love whenever I get a chance to show
There's
how
2
nerdy
days
I
a
am.
year. You can wear one every hour or so.
There you go. And whenever I turn the air conditioning on for a hot second, I'll be like, ooh, it's cold. I can put a hoodie on. We hope everyone out there is interested. We're going to be rolling with episode 1 sometime this week. No, not that episode 1. Going to be United We Fan episode 1. So, Brian, any farewells for him?
Goodbye, everybody. It's a pleasure talking to you. We look forward to much more.
All right, everyone. We will talk to you soon, and we hope to entertain you. And see you next time.
Excelsior!